Hi, it's Kamon Reynolds, and while this might not be what you're used to seeing, this is what's happening to me right now. I'm telling you what, I was catching a couple queens. This is one I had just marked and was fixing to get ready to put in the bank, and I saw a small swarm heading out of a colony. We are so far behind. We're doing nuke orders right now, putting honey supers on, and there's just several colonies that are slipping between the cracks, and this one it slipped just a little bit. So I thought it'd be interesting, since I already had a mated queen in my hand, to see if that would help them kind of center around her and land where I could catch them. I was fixing to stick her somewhere, and they started getting in my pocket where she was at, and then I pulled her out and they decided they really liked that idea. So I think I'm just going to hang out here a second and just see what happens. For those of you who have weak constitutions, you might need to turn this off. But now, when bees are swarming like this, they are typically very docile, easy to get along with. I have so many different swarm stories I could tell you, it's not even funny. The trick is really not moving to where you're pinching them. And I've never had them go in my pocket like this. This is going to be an adventure. Another thing, when you have bees clustered on your hand like this, it feels like your whole hand is falling asleep because there's so many little feet touching you at the same time of moving around. It's way overstimulating my nervous system, or my nerves in this part of my body, and it feels just like my arm is falling asleep. Bees absolutely love to swarm, though. I think it's their favorite thing in the world to do. It's really a happy time of the year, and if it's not costing you money, it's not that big of a deal. Holy Toledo, stay out of my pocket. Maybe they'll jump onto this cluster and they'll get out of my pocket. I'm really not concerned about what's on my hand. I can shake these guys off. What's in my pocket's a little bit of a different story. There's a bunch of drones in here, all kinds of stuff. It looks like, gauging by what's in the air, this is going to be a relatively small swarm. I'm guessing by the time it's all said and done, we'll be lucky if it covers 4 frames. There's a queen in here somewhere. Of course, I've got this one in this cage, but it doesn't belong to them. They don't really care. And I still got a few new customers to sell to. If they show up, this is going to be really something. Hey Laurel, check that out over there. There's some bees lighting on that little elm tree. The queen might be over there, the real one. Right now, I'm the queen bee. Help! Woo! It would be pretty easy to make a bee beard right now. I really have no desire to do that. With my luck and as big as my nose is, they probably go up my nose. Oh, I got one up my shirt sleeve. Woo, that tickles. Got some orange pollen in here. That guy was probably just coming back and was like, whoa, we're swarming. Okay, here we go. Now swarms, while they are awesome, and many people will tell you that swarms that you catch will be better than what you can buy, and while that sometimes is true, that is not always the case. Swarms actually can have fairly high mite loads, especially if they're from untreated colonies, and there's been several swarms that I have caught that have had very, very high mite loads, and I've seen a few even with the queen that'll have a mite on the queen, and that is a high mite load because they try to really keep her cleaned up. But anyway, so I'm just, holy Toledo. Well, that has gotten a little bit bigger in the last few minutes. Laurel's just laughing at me. That's not very nice. Huh. This is going to be really interesting. And I don't think I'm going to be able to show you guys how I get out of this situation. If you have any children, they might better not watch this. No, I'm not going to take my pants off on the camera. As exciting as that might seem, not. Oh, wow. Man, they are just going in my pocket. That is going to be so fun. And I really love these pants. I've got half my gear in these things. I'm going to have to figure out how to get these guys out. Anyways, the goal is I've got those Jester White nuke boxes. Once they settle down a little bit more, I'm going to shake these bees down in there. And then I'm, of course, going to have it closed up. The boxes are nice because they're ventilated. I'm going to see if I can find the queen over there. If I don't find her over there in that cluster, that means she's in here somewhere. And she probably is. They're harder to find when they've swarmed like this because this is probably one of my queens, and she's probably really fat, or was really fat I should say, but whenever they want to swarm, they actually chase her around in the hive and stop her from laying so that she'll lose weight so she can fly good. They put her on an exercise program called Run Around the Hive Until You Shrink. And anyway, so she's much harder to find like this. Hey Laura, can you hold this for me a second? Anyways, I'm open to suggestions, but I'm going to shake these bees in that nuke box. I don't know exactly how I'm going to get out of this down here. Let me talk about some beautiful clothing right here. It's the new fashion statement, man. Save the bees. Be the bees. Be one with the bees. All that stuff. All right. I'm hoping that they're going to cluster up on my hand. But definitely, I've lost like all the feeling in my hand. I mean, I can move my fingers, but it feels like I've been sleeping on it all night. I can't feel anything that my finger's doing. It's so weird feeling. I love swarms though, just not when they're mine. Shame on me. I was just telling Laura we've got to hurry up and get to these colonies before they swarm on us. Too late. But we should catch this one. Now one thing, this is an important tip. These bees usually don't go very far from the hive originally, and then they will light down on a branch or something, and then they are going to scout around if they haven't already found a location to swarm into. Now it could be in a tree, could be in a building, could be in somebody's swarm trap, like mine. However, I don't know that, if they're going to go in my swarm trap. Likely they're not. And likely, even if I hive these things in this box and I keep them in it overnight, if I open it up within the next few days and they already have another place in their mind, they're going to leave my equipment. So what I really like to do, when I suggest you do, it's always worked for me and I've never lost a swarm this way, is whenever you catch a loose swarm that's in your bee yard, take it somewhere else. A few miles away, drop it until they start drawing comb and some brood, and then once they do that, bring it back. And that's again why I like these Jester nuke boxes. They're easy to transport, but there's a lot of times in the past where I would hive a swarm and then you would leave them in your original yard and they still abscond and go to wherever the cavity they found that they think is better. The bees don't always agree with you on where they should stay. Wow, they're getting bigger all the time. I think they're going to end up covering more frames than I thought. So anyways, I'm going to take a couple pictures of this where Laurel is, and then I'm going to see if I can get out of this. And if we have anything crazy to add, we'll share it with you. If I don't ever post another bee video, well, we probably all will know the reason why. Nah. Thanks for watching our videos.